Isn't that music what you're gonna use for your tech tree video? Okay, let's move on. Next intro.
Why are you inactive?
That is kawaii, but not the one I wanted.
Next intro. New update. SimpleRockets 2.0.9.920. The update you never expected. This is horrible. I'm out of intro ideas. You know what? Let's go to the original intro by resetting this. 0.9.920 has finally arrived, although I didn't expect it to come before 1.0. Anyways, recently, NH Space has come back. He has made an update video too. I will link it at the cards and at the end screen so that you can watch his update video after this video. So, without further ado or any chit-chatting, let's start the video. 0.5, something to do with Herobrine. So simply, the dummy is removed because of its uselessness, but check out what they said to announce that the dummy is gone. Look at the similarity of the words. One, new game opening. So now there's a new opening to the game, but I didn't record all of it because it's hard to. So here it is. As you can see, there are stars and a part of a galaxy on the menu. What a revamp. 1.8, new career button. Now, when making a new game, there is a career button, but it doesn't work yet. Well, I'm relieved that 1.0 only has game modes, not career taking over the game, and no sandbox. 2. Command disk. The command disk is a command pod that has a battery and a gyro, like a normal command pod, but it doesn't support Droo, obviously. Unlike any command pod, you can edit the gyro capacity and the battery capacity. It can be used in your crafts as a normal command pod, and it also means that you will save on parts. It would also blend in with your craft, because it looks like a normal fuel tank, meaning this is the chip you can use to complete a craft without, well, a chip. 3. New and renamed parts. Now, there has been new parts in this update. Again, we'll start off with the new parts, and then move on with the renamed parts. Space habitat. A fuselage capable of holding crew inside, but with a very low density. Ideal for large vehicles such as spaceships, space stations, and the like. Crew compartment. A fuselage capable of holding crew inside, with a high density of seats, but with a limited pressure range to work. If under too much or too little pressure, it will take damage. Package can only be found in the all parts category, which we will explain more later. Tourists, they pay money to go to places, but sadly, they lack a jetpack or a grappling hook. How useless. We will also explain more about it later. Command disk. We already explained about it, but this is its description. A pack combining a command chip and space to have some batteries and gyroscopes to have all you need to control your craft in a single, more configurable part. Hemisphere. Half a sphere. 2 of these make a ball. Don't expect them to roll nice though. The collider is just a cone, sadly. Small bay. Cargo bay that can hold stuff and comes with a single sliding door by default. Small landing gear. Customizable landing gear. RTG. Radioisotope thermal generators can be treated as a passive source of power, thanks to their insanely radioactive plutonium core. With this you can have power anywhere in the system, but it doesn't come for cheap. Fuel cell. A generator capable of turning fuel into power. It is far from efficient burning it, but it can be a lighter and more compact alternative to large batteries. We'll explain more about those two later. Gnome engine. As close as a deflating balloon you can get in terms of complexity, but also in terms of thrust. Goblin solid motor. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. The favorite toy of any rocket nerd. Minotaur engine. With a great balance between power and efficiency. Mid-bypass turbofans are the perfect election for mid-sized planes and small and fancy private jets. Car wheel, resizable wheels that have a built-in electric motor. Now moving on to the renamed parts. Airplane landing gear. Previous name, landing gear. Customizable landing gear. Off-road wheel. Previous name, rover wheel. Customizable wheels that have a built-in electric motor. Centaur engine. Previous name, JT85. Turbojets are the oldest and most inefficient of the jet engines. These were designed before engineers knew that. Redirecting some of the air around the core was more fuel efficient and produced more thrust. It also is white, before 0.9.920. Griffin engine, previous name JL-50A. This is a low bypass jet engine that trades fuel efficiency for more thrust. It also includes an afterburner, which significantly increases its thrust and also makes it totally rad. Pegasus engine, previous name JH200. High bypass jet engines are the most fuel efficient style of jet engines and are more commonly found on passenger airplanes, where money matters. 4. Color picker. Now, there's a new thing on the paint tool of the game. This is what it looks like. The hex code area is now replaced by the color picker, which will have the hex code. Thankfully, I don't know if the option is harder or easier, but it also is nice and shows the old paint and the new one, like the usual color picker. Also, this may give an anxiety to find where the hex is to players until a long time after this was added, because they would get used to it. 4.5 Craft issues. This is the new craft issues area. You can get there when the validator sees an error with your craft. The button will be called View Issues, directly replacing the cancel button. So meaning to cancel launch, you need to press View Issues and then press the X button. 5. Camera updates. There's a hide base button now. This is perfect to remove your camera anxieties because of the base. And now there's a night vision button. You'll see what it does in 3, 2, 1. This view looks nice.
What you're seeing now is black and white on the TV. Now, if I press this button, what you see now has color.
Yup, you saw it right. There's a black and white filter now. What you have to do is go to Edit Part Properties, go to Camera Vantage, then look for Night Vision Color and then type hashtag 3E3E3E on the blank and then press Apply. Enjoy that filter. 6. Pinch and Slant. So now there's two new sliders on the part shape tool called Pinch and Slant. Pinch takes two corners closer to each other, and it also looks like a water drop when pinch is at 100%, and slant makes the top of a part that can be shaped to a slant. This is useful for making some telescopes, such as Spitzer Space Telescope, since you don't have to use many parts to make that slant. 7. More customizable solar arrays. Now there are new settings and sliders on the solar array. We will now tell you those settings and sliders. There is now a new style which allows you to remove those annoying holes between the panels. Its name is Square. Maybe you know this already, but it makes the panels square, which removes those holes. The hide base hides the cover that makes realism over solar panels, since there's no cover on the solar panel in real life. Rotate speed changes the speed of the sun sensor on the array to point the array to the sun. 0 equals sun sensor doesn't work. Folds angle makes the solar panel not fully stretch out, although don't set it to 0 and the negative numbers, because this will happen. That looks goofy. The array length changes the shape of the solar panel to a rectangle. Although that looked goofy, it also changes the length of the cover. If there is a cover, solar panels can also be asymmetrical, or simply, the row size can now be an even number, making it asymmetrical. And last, but not least, extended. Solar arrays fall off the rocket when hit with some drag. 7.3 RTG. In simple terms, an RTG is a power generator that uses heat from radioactive decay to generate electricity. You can change its size and length. Both can change how much power the RTG generates. You can also hide the base if you want. This is useful for probes that go to places where it's hard to get enough sunlight to have a full battery. 7.5 Generator or fuel cell. The generator is an emergency power source used in homes, etc. It's also used in some spacecraft, like the Apollo CSM, Space Shuttle, etc. They use a fuel cell, which works similar to the generator. It needs fuel to work. Let's demonstrate it. What you hear now is the generator sound. It works nice. 7.8 Unit change. So now, the unit of energy used in batteries are now watt-hours, not watts. A watt-hour is a unit of energy, equivalent to 1 watt of power expended in an hour. This may be a harder way to measure the amount of electricity. 8. Getting round here. So the hemisphere is a part that is based on a simple planes, part the hemisphere, and of course, 2 of them make a sphere. But did you know, this is a nose cone template? The nose cone's curved style change its name to ogive, and of course, it has a rounded style. At 9, your astronaut is hired. Simply, there's a new astronaut. Assigning system in the game. You put crew to an available spot on a command pod. You can also hire a new astronaut to fly to space. There's a disadvantage with tourists, though they can't be assigned but can be put on a command pod. The new assigning system removes the original naming system, meaning the game decides the name of the astronaut, not you now. I'm misnaming astronauts. 10. Runway lights. So now, there are runway lights in the game. That makes it easier for planes to see the runway at night, or when the runway has a fog. Fog is impossible in the game, but seeing the runway is impossible without going at a lower altitude or distance from it because of the new settings, like the launch pad light being removed. Because the runway lights are added, it always means it's also a new structure in Planet Studio. The X in the local scale increases or decreases the radius of the light. Y make the strip longer or shorter, and Z controls how many runway lights you can have. 11. Desert pad. The game has now added a desert pad called Ollie Pad. It's close to the desert base. There's also a hangar on the launch pad, but you can't launch planes from there. So I don't know what is that hangar's use. We are going to find out why this pad is called Ollie Pad in 3, 2, 1. 11.5 Desert base is renamed. The desert base isn't free from the name Ollie because it has been renamed to Ollie Base. It may have been named Ollie Base because it already looks like Area 51.so, meaning Ollie Base is short for Alien Base and Ollie Pad is short for Alien Pad. 12. Launch sound changed. So now, there's a new sound of the launch. We will do a comparison on the sounds. Oh. Now the gas generator to engine. Allows the Delta nozzle. Nice! 11.8 Yuri and Sally's jetpack. Now, the game has added Yuri and Sally in the assigned crew system. If you are living under a rock, Yuri and Sally are the astronauts that need rescuing in a challenge made in the SimpleRockets 2 website. These astronauts have custom jetpacks made just for them. Here is Yuri's. And here is Sally's. Same jetpack as Yuri's but with some detail. And here's a comparison of a normal jetpack and Sally's jetpack. Sally's jetpack is smaller than a normal astronaut's jetpack. Nice! 13. Did the sun just become blue? Now, Juno was changed from a yellow star to a blue star. Blue stars tend to be the hottest stars in the universe. Maybe Juno was changed to a blue star to make some uniqueness, but I will make it yellow only for me to bring realism when making missions that observe the sun. 14. Droo's atmosphere gets some realism. So now, Droo's atmosphere has been moved from about 58 kilometers to 80 kilometers. The advantage, of course, is that the atmosphere height makes it closer to the height of the Earth's atmosphere, 100 kilometers. The disadvantage is that you will need more delta V to get out of the atmosphere and enter orbit, and re-entry will be longer than the previous versions of SimpleRockets 2. 14.5 Taurus has changed a lot, so now Taurus has been revamped. Let's see what's new with it. There are lakes in Taurus now. There are also some cliffs. Their edges are red too. There are also some islands. We can also see some plateaus and mountains. The terrain is nice, good. Revamped to Taurus, Droo, and also, this revamp makes it more like Saturn's moon, Titan. 15. Help button has changed names, so simply, the help button in both Visi and Planet Studio changed its name. In Visi, it changed to More Info. In Planet Studio, it was changed to Guide. Their names were changed to avoid confusion. 16. Category order change. The categories have changed its order. This is the new order. 1. All parts. 2. Command. 3. Structural. 4. Propulsion. 5. Electrical. 6. Control and descent. 7. Subassemblies. 17. Tinker Panel updates. There is a new slider and also a slider moved to Tinker Panel. First, there is a price scale now. IT makes, of course, the part cheaper or more expensive. And last, but not least, buoyancy. Slider was moved from advanced art properties to below the price scale. 18. Cargo bay has new hinge styles. The cargo bay has new hinge styles. The standard hinge style of the cargo bay is called sideways. Clamshell is a style that looks goofy if there's no fuel tank at the bottom, or top if its bottom is. The top because it's flipped. Sliding cargo bays are useful for elevators. You can also change how the cargo bays open. And there's also secondary angle. IT makes the second door open to a higher or a lower angle than the first door. That's nice. Also, Time Warp makes cargo bays open and close fast now. 19. Recover craft. When your craft comes back to Droo, you always have to end flight. Go to resume flight. Find your craft and delete it. Not to worry, the recover craft button is here. This button simply saves flight and deletes the craft from the flight scene to make the process shorter. 20. Landing gear becomes doorless. There is simply now a style on the landing gear doors called None that removes the doors if you want. You can see the landing gear in the bay at this style. Nice! And last but not least, 21. Capsule's length can be changed. So now, the game adds a setting that makes capsules slightly taller or shorter. Minimum is 75%. Maximum is 125%. This slider makes out capsule shapes when used individually. Get used to those shapes when you use it many times over time. Nice! Congrats! You have reached the end of the video. Although there are some features I didn't mention because the music was too short for it doesn't work, etc. One of them is that the booster has two power cycles, amateur and booster. This update is a great update. See you next time.